Hello, my name is Parker.
And my name is Ned.
I'm Fee.
And this is the Force Unlimited, yet another Star Wars Unlimited podcast. This is episode number 42. We are recording on September 7th, and to the best of my knowledge, Baton has not been offered the chance to make his own Star Wars Unlimited Galactic Championship card. Going to keep beating that drum. This is episode 42. We have asked Fee here to come and give us the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But before we ask her about that, Fee, tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel.
Okay, awesome. Hi, I'm Fee from Metal Marshmallow. I've been doing a series on Star Wars Unlimited called Jank Tech for, I think I've put out 30-something episodes at this point. Obviously, my channel is a more casual-minded. We focus on janky card combos, mostly Twin Suns. I really would like to start doing trilogy content. And it's pretty much like everyone else is doing meta content. Everything else is like, oh, how to beat all these decks, yada, yada. You know, we don't want that. We want to use the other cards in our binders. We want to have fun with our friends. We want to talk a bunch of smack. And we just want to enjoy brewing and just playing this fantastic game in all sorts of ways.
I reject the assertion that Ned and I know anything about the meta at
all. I mean, those decks that you played against me earlier say otherwise.
Damn.
I am a notorious net decker. What is your favorite card?
My favorite card, besides the Dr. Aphra leader card?
It can be the Dr. Aphra leader card.
I think it's probably Criminal Muscle from the second set. It's got that sweet Aitor Prieto art. It's got that bounces a non-unique upgrade to your hand, and that just invites so many like janky recycling your card combination things.
It's got the jacked Rhodian on it, right? Where
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we have you here, Fee, in part to talk about jank, as you noted, but tell us. So I actually met you briefly prior to Galactics as part of a card trade that, like, days before Galactics, frantically attempting to trade everybody in the community to get the cards I needed for Galactics, because Legends of the Force came out so close to Galactics that you either, if you didn't find it in your boxes, you had to hunt it down elsewhere. But then we actually got a chance to talk to you at length at Galactics. You're also from Portland. We're on the same flight back. Tell us about we've talked at length about our Galactics experience, but tell us about your Galactics experience.
Okay, Galactics was sort of my way of thinking. Do I I talk all the smack about not playing meta stuff. What if I just did a really big tournament? I just brought something that I thought would be fun, and how would this go? And I brought an Avar Chris red deck, which, I mean, it's not meta, but it's not not
you weren't
meta.
Alone?
Yeah.
I got my butt kicked. I went 1-5, and then I dropped. And then I played side events the rest of the time, and that was awesome.
I'd like to note for the record that Ned brought a mirror of the deck that took the whole thing down. And Ned, how many victories did you get?
Zero was the number of victories that I secured.
Oh no!
So you do not need to lament your singular victory at all.
Okay. It's one of those problem exists between chair and keyboard errors, is what we're saying.
Yeah, 110. No. The problem for me was between chair and keyboard. For you, absolutely blame the deck.
Okay, cool.
I absolutely love Avar Red.
Oh yeah, me too.
I like Avar Blue a little bit more, but I think it was John Tata who said that if you're running green, there's why not force throw? Like any color that you can match. If you're running a non-red leader, the other color should, and you have a non-trivial amount of force, any other card. So I really like Avar Blue, and every time I've built Avar Blue, I've regretted it. I am getting ahead of ourselves on the script because you and I just played Trilogy.
We did.
Fee, tell us about the match we just played.
Oh my gosh. So number one, I got crushed by these supposed non-meta decks.
I think I fairly accurately described where my decks ranked.
Yes.
I don't think I was
No, I think you were
inaccurate. So,
but I think we had some fun matches, and that's I think the more important thing, and that's kind of the vibe that I like bringing to games anyway. So I played my stupid Mando green deck against your first deck, and what was that one? That was Cad Tarkentown.
Yeah.
And sorry, yeah, but Ned, I need you to remind me, Cad Bane.
Oh yeah, no. He's the leader from Shadows. He deploys on 6. He has the ability that whenever you play a unit with the Underworld trait, you can exhaust him, and he will deal 1 damage that's not indirect, but behaves essentially functionally like indirect, except it can't hit a base because why? And then deploys on 6 as a 2/8 with raid 2. And
when he deploys, does he do the 1?
2 damage.
He increases to 2. Right.
But once per round only.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for the introduction fee. So yeah, I played Cad. That was my main, and both that I think the meanest thing I've ever done. I think that is. I felt bad. I'm an ungracious host, but I think that's. I brought down the other Cad Bane, the 7/7, and I think that's the largest capture. You had the Y-Wing?
I had the 1-cost yellow Y-Wing that's going in all the Vader pilot green decks. Then I had like 3 experience and a Luke Skywalker on it.
Yep.
Like I just kept sticking stuff on there. When you have a 1-cost with a pile of upgrades, you're gonna expect someone's gonna do something about it, though.
Yeah, it's not long for the world.
I think that was one of the meanest things I've ever done, and I felt terrible.
I'm glad you feel terrible about it.
I feel terrible about I genuinely feel bad about the not sleep. I had attempted to. I have 2 lists that I'm actually fond of in my trilogy that I have not sleeved up, and parenting got in the way, and so I have not. They're still not sufficiently sleeved for our match. But so I just brought my trilogy tournament from Galactics sleeves stuff, and as is I think critical with trilogy, the trilogy format. So before we even played, you offered up Morgan in yellow.
Yes,
and that's different enough from what Ned runs, but not different enough. So before we even played, I banned your showcase, which
that was ice cold, Parker. I mean,
yeah, I genuinely try to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the rudest, meanest match I've ever played against our guest. And you banned
Kylo ECL
in green.
Yes,
Kylo ECL,
because
that is. You good? Yeah, you're done.
That deck.
That's actually the first time I got to play him, or that I haven't gotten to play him in trilogy, because every time I played trilogy with that set of 3, it's Han 2 goes away, which leads us into our second match. Han 2 versus Mace Windu, who that was Mace Windu double red was so much damage.
Yes.
But
it was very close
against the big butt deck.
Yeah.
And so then just to end our matchup, I put down double crate, and that just, I mean, the deck felt like, I mean, again, it did what the deck does, which is just feels gross. It's why like it's the like baseline deck of Galactics, because you're just getting to play like Kiadi into Poe into Luke, and it doesn't stop. But getting to play a second crate was again one of those things that like made me feel so bad, but also like if you have the opportunity to do that in your life, like that opportunity, I mean, so that was our matchup. So dear listener, that's the match fee, and I just played. Any takeaways from
the takeaway number 1? I was really hoping Mace was going to be stronger against Han, which is kind of why I was like, oh, well, maybe this is the one I play now, because everything's damaged. I can pick on it, but you know what? Like, it's still a really good deck, even with all this damage.
Huge butts that get pinged down to very large butts is still a problem.
But I think it kind of reinforces one of my beliefs about trilogy is that you can. But being unpredictable and bringing decks that people aren't necessarily going to know what's in them can also be a way of getting at least a little bit of an advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's Ned and my big talk, is that like decks that that die to a silver bullet just thrive in trilogy. Because nobody's
or
packing
worse.
a sideboard.
Yeah.
So
I was
here's a
curious.
question for Ned.
Oh,
you go,
sorry, I
you
was
go.
curious. So, on the turn 2, when you had to leave the 3 resources open and passed against Grogu, did you have a non open fire play into Grogu? That
No, it was open fire into Grogu.
Well,
Because-
I mean, you did that the next turn, but the thing that I was curious about, I think that if you had another unit that you could have played there, I think you definitely could have taken that match, because there was a period after you dropped that Rancor where you had very strong control of the board, and I think a little more pressure would have let you kind of snowball and run away with it.
Yep.
I'm not 100% on that. But like when you came out with the Air Force after, in the end, only to get shut down by the crate. But I think that if you had that Air Force that had been doing some support earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if that could have gotten things done. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
would like to also agree with that.
I definitely had I suspect there is an element of I had the optimal Hantu curve
Yeah.
into the and a non-opt. I mean, an optimal curve beats a non-optimal curve.
It's real true. And like me skipping that one turn and not playing anything was really rough on me. But, like sometimes you get good draws, sometimes you don't. I mean, the cool thing about the Han deck is you get the card draw from Kiadi Mundi. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and Yoda. I mean, that's 6 cards that are just drawn. I mean, yeah. Oh man, I would play that. I think if they ban Force Throw, which I don't think they're going to do, but I'm fine with that. If it's not, things are showing up outside Force Throw. If Force Throw were banned, I think Hantu Blue's presence would drop a non-trivial amount. It would not be kind of as default as it is. I would still play it because it is still big butts, the Timmy deck.
yes.
And just like the Force Throw I put in there because why wouldn't you? But
You get to ramp with your leader.
if they
What's
banned it,
not to
I'd take
like?
out the 3 Ezras.
Yeah.
Like I have 3 Ezras in there for Force, and I think I would lose those for literally anything else, because I mean that card's going to get dropped as soon as there's a Force cost 3. Anyway,
Yeah.
in JTL, we have questions about JTL, but first, I'm going to put you in a hard spot because you like talking about accessibility and jank, which is the theme of our episode. But let's set you up for failure fee right before we talk about that.
Okay.
More meanness.
Trilogy
Just
versus
endless
Twin
spite.
Sons. Endless fight. Trilogy versus Twin Sons.
Trilogy
Fee,
versus Twin Sons. Like I have to espouse a preference for one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were mean in Twin Sons.
Oh my gosh, yes. Every Twin Sons game that's good is a mean game of Twin Sons.
Yeah. You and I played Twin Sons a couple times, and every single time, I mean, we had the fortune of playing against people we knew, so there's already like a well-established table dynamic before the game even starts. Ned's favorite aspect of any card game is outside factors coming to play. Outside
Strategic whining rears its ugly head.
But I was impressed with your ability, like just absolutely blown my feet with your ability, not only to the deck that you brought and your ability to pilot the deck, but also to pilot the other 3 pilots at the table.
Thank you.
But Trilogy is on the rise. We've got a official stream later this month. So you got to pick a camp. Where should True Jank live?
I think True Jank still lives in Twin Sons. I'm sorry. I think you can get away with a lot more bad cards in Twin Sons. It's like, I mean, yes, you have to. You have to. Oh my gosh. You only get 1 copy of those cards in your Twin Sons deck, but if you fill a whole deck full of those and play the other players against each other, it gives you ways of using them. I think in Trilogy, I feel like it does lend itself to jank because you can come up with unexpected things that people aren't going to know how to deal with. But also you have to rely on those like good fundamentals you learn playing regular Premier games where like you have to think really hard about sequencing. You've only got this one other person that you're going against. You've got to think really hard about your curve. In Twin Sons, if you miss your turn 1 play because you only got 3 drops because it's an 80 card deck, then you just say, I'm just a little guy. I didn't even get a turn 1 play. This person over here has Sabine. This person over here has Aura Singh.
Ned's about to just like kick you from the squad.
No. It's fine. You know, there's different games for different people, and all I gotta say is no mercy. Just zero mercy. If you don't have a 2-drop, you go to jail. Just instantly. Do not stop. You get attacked.
One of the things I appreciate about Twin Suns is the fact that if you start picking on just the little guy who didn't get that turn 1 play, one of two things has to be true. Either it's honest, like they are the little guy. That turn 1 miss was important, in which case the other 2 people immediately start ganging up on the person who's picking on the little guy because they don't necessarily want the game to end that quickly and give the 5 health. So it is actually, unlike, say, Commander, it is actually like self-healing. And on the other hand, as I watched, if the person actually has a strong deck and everybody knows what is about to befall them, then the ploy doesn't work. And you're like, yeah, get them. Like, thank you for wearing them down so that I don't have, no. That's a good call.
Yeah.
I know Ned likes Trilogy because he didn't bring a Twin Suns deck to Galactics.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I am putting together a Twin Suns deck that I'm going to be talking about because I am interested in exploring these multiplayer dynamics further and overcoming my irrational hatred of people just playing to throw cards around and not trying to win.
Oh no, I'm trying to win. Every single time I play that game, I'm trying to win. The art of winning without looking like you're winning is part of what makes that
one. Robots, Ned. You're playing against other human beings, fallible human beings with emotion.
No, that's great. I'm pro. I like playing games with emotions. I just like being able to try to win without having to pretend that I'm not trying to win.
Oh no, you should absolutely try to win. And no, because that's the great thing, right? Like because the game is over as soon as you kick someone out, nobody actually cares about getting kicked out because you just get to play another game and see the other half of your deck that you definitely aren't going to see the first time. Ned, you've actually and I have talked about it 2 or 3 times, and we cooked up a concept for a Twin Suns deck. Tell us about and Fee about the Twin Suns deck.
I did not end up going with the one that you cooked up. I was no. I was brewing, and what I noticed is what leader reminds me of my favorite Taco Bell needle?
It would be the Grand Inquisitor.
It would be the Grand Inquisitor who's due to rotate out. And you know that there's
which means you have to play him in Twin Suns.
In Twin Suns. And he has built-in synergy with Krennic, right? Because you get to damage your own units, and then they have +1 power, and then you just get to throw them at people. It's great. You get to play Rampart, and it gets to ready. You get to ready Rampart with GI.
No, you don't get to play Rampart because you only get to put 1 in the deck.
It's great.
You can't Ned, you are the one who always preaches against Magical Christmas Land.
It's not Magical Christmas Land. It is a 1-card
to play
combo.
Rampart. He's 1 card in 80 decks. That's
I mean, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you get to do too, right? Like your Scout Bike Troopers get to be 4 power. Your other your Hybolans get to be 4 power. Very, very trivial.
Well, I'm disappointed, Ned, because this sounds like a sweaty deck.
It does sound like a sweaty deck.
It's a little sweaty.
And we had talked about such a deck that was both incredibly janky and incredibly, I found compelling. So. Tell us about the deck that we cooked up on the airplane, because I actually think that deck is not cheap but incredibly fascinating.
So the less sweaty, like the fun storytelling deck where you're all the
one that makes sense for our guest feed.
Yes, was Chancellor Palpatine with Rey, and you just play nothing but Skywalker family people who are affiliated with the Skywalker family, and you get to play both sides, right? Because with Palpatine, you can all you do is you immediately flip them to evil, and then you get to play all the best stuff that is Skywalker related, and that's honestly a huge overlap with all the best stuff as it is, and it's beautiful.
I love that. I love it.
You are out if you do it with Rey, and you did it with a red. Wait, were you doing it with Rey? I thought you were doing it with. Do you do it with Rey, which gets you red, or no, blue Rey?
Yeah, you do blue Rey.
Blu-ray with the red base.
With the red
And
base,
that
yeah.
gets you
With the red
basically-
I mean, you can run the Force base, or you can run the non-Force base, depending on your personal taste. And then you basically get all of the good Skywalkers except for Leia. And honestly, there's not a lot of Leias that you're that enthusiastic about playing.
I mean, you still get the yellow exhaust Leia.
Yeah, you get the yellow exhaust Leia, but you don't get Space Leia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't get, but and you don't get any of the Vaders. Wait, can you get the Vader?
No, you get the blue Vader.
You get Blue Vader.
Wait, does Palp allow you to violate the rule? Because normally the Twin Suns requires that the cards match the aspects. Is it the front side aspects of your leader or both sides?
I mean, you
I need to
can
do
always
some more
play
research.
off aspect. It's just Palp flips and his aspect changes, so then it changes if you pay the aspect tax or not.
Okay. I could have sworn that Twin Suns
Had a tighter
I'm just imagining.
aspect requirements. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
it's the same as always. The only things that are the tighter requirements are that the leaders have to both have hero or they both have villain.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah. So right. So so you can't do Palp with a villain because he only counts on his front side, but you can still put any units in. Yeah. So right. So that was the idea, was that you get all of the Vaders, you get all the Palpatines,
Yep.
all the Reys.
You don't
get
quite get all
Kylos.
the Vaders. You get most of the Vaders.
You don't get the pilot Vader.
Yeah, and you don't
No,
get the
you-
seven
You get the
cost.
Pilot Vader. You don't get the Green Vader.
But you do get the new blue Vader. Yeah. So you lose out on Green Vader and Space Leia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get like every Anakin ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including the new one from Secret
Oh
Spy.
right, what is that one called? Secret Husband.
Yeah. Which is such a great.
Is that what
Great,
they're called? Secret
title.
Husband?
Secret
can't
Husband.
be- Yeah.
I think that's the name of the
what he
set. Actually,
is.
it's Secrets of Husband, not Secrets of Power.
Secrets of
Oh.
Husbands. I mean, to be fair, like the set would still sell, right? You could make a steamy set and just a Pasión de los Pasiones of Star Wars, and get in it. Okay, so briefly, or as long as we want, whatever, as long as you want, Fee, you're the guest. Kind of a theme that we have come back to once or twice, but it's been a hot minute. But I think is pertinent to your show is the power of jank in community. And I mean, we don't have questions on this. This is the topic. And Ned, I know, has strong opinions on.
I
jank
do have
community as
opinions
well.
about this.
I'd love to hear them, Ned, and I can go on after you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No. I'll take the affirmative. So my case is.
I don't think anybody's negative janking community.
No, nobody is.
I think that some people are, but I'm, as sweaty as I come across, and I think that I am both physically and emotionally a fairly sweaty human being. I just melt in the heat. But
You try to make your you are fascinating that you are opposed to you are sweaty and yet you oppose to spending money, which results in this
Yes.
where you're cooking with jank because
yeah, no, that if all you can afford is Taco Bell, you make the best goddamn menu items that you possibly can.
Is there some sort of hidden Taco Bell deal? I'm hearing a few different Taco Bell little
every
things
time I
snuck in.
mention
Wish.
Crunchwrap Supreme, I get a Crunchwrap Supreme delivered straight to my home.
not for free from Taco Bell. And just every time he mentions Crunchwrap Supreme, he goes on to DoorDash and gets a Crunchwrap Supreme delivered to his house.
But
Yeah, that is a sub theme of the show. for you
I'm
guys.
very pro jank. I think that it is important when you're building jank to understand what you're doing and to always try your best. This is kind of my attitude towards jank, is that there's two ways that people play jank. You can play honest jank where, like, for example, in my trilogy set, I run Rex Unity of Purpose. Is
Okay.
this a good deck? No. Is this a deck that wins a lot? Also no. Is this a deck where when it does the thing, you feel like the absolute king poop of Turd Mountain? Heck yeah. When you're swinging with your 12 power battle droids and you're just...
I always remember the archetype.
Yeah.
The breaking down the archetypes.
Yeah.
I remember when I first read it. I want to say it was some magazine. It was a physical magazine.
Yeah.
Described the three natures of the archetypes as a spike, if a Spike loses one game, they're sad.
Yes.
If a Johnny Jenny wins one game and as long as their thing goes off, then they're happy.
Yeah.
Even if they lose the other 9, as long as they got that one where the Magic Christmas line happens. And a Timmy Tammy doesn't care if they win or lose. If they don't get to play the 10-10, then the game is they've already lost. They've lost. It doesn't matter if they win. If they win with a bunch of small things, who cares? You play the T-Rex or you go home. And that in my mind is a conceptual map.
Yeah.
So I really think that jank is powerful, and I think that jank is how most people get into the way that a lot of people get into the game. When you're dealing with a trading card game, a game that has this deck building, this outside of game element, a big part about it is creative expression. And that jank, that's what hones your kind of palette for understanding the like very spicy brews that people cook up when people are going like mega sweat and running the most toned, the most efficient lists. And I feel like if you go right from kitchen table to the sweatiest list, you don't develop that sense of how to build a deck and what the parts of deck building are. And I think that the important thing about jank and running jank is it is good to run jank, and you ought to run jank because you're exploring the space, and it like aids the overall creative expression and the overall like strength of the community, because sometimes jank turns out to be really good. Like I will never forget when people created the Lantern control deck in Modern as something that originally was completely ridiculous and nobody thought would possibly win, and now it's like it's not good now, but for a while it was like a really brutal archetype. And so that kind of exploration is really powerful, but you have to understand what you're doing, and you also have to understand that by embracing jank, you are losing some win percentage. But it is the win percentage that you are losing win percentage now, but you are gaining in your overall understanding of the game and your overall understanding of like the card game as it's structured and deck building and all of that. And so overall, I think that honing your taste for jank is a net positive in your journey to try and be the best card player that you care to be. And it's fun. So, that's kind of my argument. But I also caution, because I have seen this trap, is a lot of people, they embrace the jank and it dominates their destiny, where rather than trying to like get better or trying to like hone their jank so that it is good jank as opposed to bad jank, they're like, oh, I just, I like the card. I like doing it. It's like, buddy, friendo, you gotta understand what you're trying to do and then do it, and don't goof around. I don't know. That's my attitude. Maybe that's wrong. So I'm interested in your perspective, Fee.
No, I think there's some real good points in here, and the whole idea of playing the jank to develop internalize the relationships between all the cards in your deck and all the pieces and why they're all there.
Yeah,
I feel like yes, I have tried to put together sweatier decks before. Mm-hmm. And I would hope that I can understand what makes the Avar Red deck that I put together different than the stupid Mando Droid deck that I played against Parker earlier.
Right.
And knowing that the Mando deck is really fun, and if I can Johnny my way to victory by playing only 2-cost cards, then it feels real good. But it's not going to be the same as dropping a turn 2 Poe Dameron unit. And then force throwing whatever, it's, but I feel like the interesting thing about jank, and I think we were talking a little bit about how it engages the community, is that it engages people in conversation about cards. And you're just like, oh, look at this cool interaction here. Oh, well, what if we played that card in a Barris deck and got a discount of 1? Or what if Afra milled this card and then you played this to get it back out of the discards? And I feel like this, the jank building can inform the sweaty building in ways where maybe the sweaty people are just like, well, we're just going to net deck for a while and see what happens. And then there's a jank player that'll be like, oh, here's this really interesting interaction that maybe they didn't think about. And then, then that can get worked into an actual good deck. And a lot of the time I just enjoy playing with ideas. A lot of the time I don't care about my win percentage as much. And non-Twin Sons formats. And I just think it's fun to see like how far can we push something? Can I fill a Morgan Elsbeth deck with just raid units and like have it function as a deck? And like see if we stretch this to its breaking point, and maybe like we can make something good out of it. I don't know. But I love that idea of maybe just the other part about the community building is you're talking about these cards because that's what you have. You like maybe you've gotten together, you've drafted something with some people that aren't spending sweaty amounts of money on something. They pull like a rare whatever out of their pack that 4-cost upgrade that pings something 3 times. It's in the newest set. Yeah. And then like, oh, well, how can we make this work in a deck? This is what I've got. And then you start experimenting with people. You like meet together, you brew decks, you make friends. It's like, I like that aspect a lot about the cobbling together things that Jank does.
I need to say more about Jank, but first, the reason why Ned and I often play matches on Sunday so as to warm ourselves up for the episode is because after we noted that after a weekend of parenting, we've forgotten how to play the game. And I just want to point out, I feel even worse about banning your Morgan because I conflated her with Mother Talzin because we showcased through my art.
It kept going in my brain. Like, why? I've never touched, like, I brewed some Morgan builds, but I was brewing around Ambush. I wasn't brewing around Raid. My goodness.
Yeah, I absolutely conflated the two of them together. No. And now I feel even so worse. And so I will, as soon as I can, I want to play that
all
Morgan
Night Sisters look the same to you, Parker?
Oh.
Is that what...
Also fair, yeah. It's true. That just I'm opposed to all of them, but oh man, that showcase through me. I have a lot of animosity to Mother Talzin, and I feel worse. Yeah. So here's a question. There's the old aphorism: restrictions breed creativity.
Yeah.
And so I feel like. How much do you two feel that Jank is a reaction to card pool, right? Like, is there, if either of you had a complete playset, not only of every card, but of every printing, you have everything, you have all the shinies, you have nothing left to chase. Mm-hmm. You have this like monkey's paw curl where just they print 3 new judge cards, they print 3 new world championship cards, they get mailed to your house, you have nothing left to chase. How much Jank are you still playing versus like just playing whatever you want?
I mean, honestly, I hate admitting this. It would be less. But like, there's a part of me that's like, I'm never going to buy a bunch of the set 1 Millennium Falcon. I don't own any of them. I got to make do without them. Like, I only pulled 1 Vader and 1 Luke from that first set. So it's like my decks have to work as good as they can without those cards in them. And I do think it is kind of more interesting that way to see what kind of substitutes people make. Like before I got any of the Boba Fett legendary from the first set, I'm like, oh, well, we can use Toro Calican. He's got the same kind of stat line and he does something interesting that's not quite the same. I do feel like I would lose out on something if I had unlimited money for unlimited power with my cards.
I can tell you with complete certitude, having played a considerable amount of Netrunner, even if I had all the cards, I'd still play Jank.
The weird stuff.
I'd still play the weird stuff, right?
If we're going to bring Netrunner into it, I also played a pretty good amount of Netrunner. Yeah. And is it surprising if I tell you all I played was Shaper? Because, why play 1 card when you can play 3 cards?
Yeah, no. I was all Shaper. I could not get it on board with Anarch or I played a little Criminal and I always splashed Criminal, but no, it was Shaper all the way.
Man, I'm the odd person out. I played Anarch and I played Wayland.
Okay.
I liked Wayland too.
Yeah,
not as good as Hasbiroid, but just big ice decks. And I didn't want the burn.
That makes so much sense. like the Timmy, of course. I just wanted to build
huge walls. Yeah. I just was like, oh man, ice wall with like 20 tokens. Yeah, this sounds great. I'm just going to sit here and, but the one thing I always wanted out of Netrunner that's interesting enough. So I just have to say, I out of nowhere, but this is the moment to say it. I am generally opposed to. Tyler Parrott had an article where he talked about that popular characters can result in more popular characters. And that article made me sad.
Yeah.
I don't want popular. I want more weird characters.
Yes.
I want
Free
deep
Dexter
cuts.
Jetster.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ned. You know, I don't think Fantasy Flight does dibs, but
If they print a Dexter
I saw you
Jetster-
hustle for the panel, Ned.
Yeah.
And you just keep hustling for the Dexter Jetster preview. I want more weird characters, but the one thing I will say is the thing that always killed me about Netrunner is they never reprinted an identity, and that was always the thing that made me sad. I was like, I want to see a shaper whose like artistic life falls apart and they decide to burn it down, and so they reprint them as an anarch. I want to see a yes.
So they didn't do that, but they did do a follow-up where they had a lot of the early characters featured in later cards as their lives fell apart. So like you could see this I can't remember the exact set, but you can see like Dinosaurus, who was the shaper that had Dinosaurus. You could see Dinosaurus in the background of one of them as her parents split up.
Oh
and
my
then
god,
you
that
could
card
see,
is
like Wizard getting exploded by a
by boom.
Yeah. So they reprinted they had like this.
No,
is what
I
happened to them,
understand
they
that.
all
but
had terrible
what I really
lives.
wanted was
Yeah.
that Star Wars Unlimited moment in time idea was always
Yeah.
like a dream for me that I wanted to see Netrunner
Yeah.
identities moment in time. So I get that fulfillment of, like you said, there's a secret husband version, and in this moment, Anakin is not in any way related to the Skywalker destiny. He's just, you know,
Secret husband. Yes.
17-year-old dude married to
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
And you can play his little kid that's infatuated with Natalie Portman version of him in the same deck and
in the same deck.
make it weird.
So did either of you ever? I already know the answer for Ned without even asking. Fee, did you ever play Hearthstone?
I didn't. I don't actually know anything about it.
That's fine. I don't expect you to know. The one thing that I always loved about that I thought Hearthstone, they started to do it and they kind of they had this thing called, it was a week, digital game, so they could do new stuff all the time. Is they could do weekly. They had a thing called Tavern Brawls for a while, which were like, this week you can join and you can only play weird rule decks. So forget Han Solo, but you could only play like odd or even cards in your deck. Pick one. And one of the things I feel like is I am not janky. I'm not good at the game, but I am naturally like drawn to sweatiness. Like I just want somebody to tell me this engine works, and I don't care. Like I just like my cards to do the thing that I want. So I play mid-range piles. I'm not interested in thinking about my deck. I just want to buy a deck and sit down and watch it do its thing. But I like jank, and I respect jank. And I've been thinking about, so two shops in the greater Portland area that I have exposure to that have recently done weird stuff. I got my start with Star Wars Unlimited at Red Castle, which had a sealed escalation league, which was great because and I've advocated for the sealed escalation league a lot. Because it's a great, sealed is fine, but you sit down and you play sealed and you didn't draw the good stuff and somebody else drew the good stuff and then you have a bad night and you go home. But if the next week you have the promise of a pack or two adding to your pile and you're seeing the exact same piles, like it becomes an incredibly narrow meta. You don't have to care about anything else. I remember when I was playing the Sealed Escalation League, somebody opened one Vader, and that was the only Vader in the entire meta, but we know who had it, and you knew what you needed to do to tech around it. Mm-hmm. And then one of the other stores I go to, Guardian Games, they did they did a pre-release with a format they call Alliance, which is 2v2,
That sounds awesome.
which was a pre-release that was just, it sounds like an interesting format, right? Like I'm here for new formats, and they did it for a pre-release. But in my mind, that's what I want to see is like stores championing like more formats. At the Building a Local Community panel, they talked about like, on the one hand, if you have too many formats, it can make it hard for somebody who's just learning the game to get in, because it's like, wait, we're playing Twin Suns. Oh, wait, I have to have 3 decks to play tonight. Like, that's hard. But on the other hand, I think as a player, like for an established player base, like if you constantly change it up, new rules, new formats, everything's like, we're going to do it, but it can only be like the bottom performing half of leaders, right? Like every time a leader takes down a knight, they can no longer be played in this format, right? Like I'd love a store to just have their weeklies be subject to whatchamacallit, flesh and blood rules.
Oh, yeah.
The best leader of the month just doesn't get to be played anymore.
Oh, I would absolutely
Rotate
love
'em out.
that. I'm so
Yeah,
here for
right.
that. One of the formats I've always wanted to take off more is one that gets played at Cloud Cap a whole lot, and that's Pack Wars. I actually did a video.
I don't know Pack Wars. Tell me.
Oh, I actually did a video on it a while ago. It's basically like you each buy 2 packs. You take out both leaders, both bases. You shuffle everything else together. After you draw your starting 6 cards, you choose one of your bases. You don't take a mulligan. You pay aspect tax on everything, and then you just play it like a regular game. You can modify it to just play it with Twin Suns rules if you're playing multiple players. Sometimes it falls apart completely. Sometimes it is like the most tense game of how do I make this work? Not knowing what you're going to draw. It's awesome. I love it
So you pick your leader, or you pick your after you've seen your hand, or you pick your leader.
You get both leaders, like it's a Twin Suns deck. So you can, so you get the whatever combination of aspects the 2 leaders have along with your base. Sometimes you can get all like 2 blue leaders and 2 blue bases, and then you're just like in a world of pain. But like this is a format where you're like, I'll get a pack of Twilight, I'll get a pack of JTL, and then you're playing, Quinlan with Asajj Pilot or something, and it gets real weird.
So I have to ask, why do you think you like it, Fee? I've never heard of that. That's a wild format. There's no jank. There's no building.
But
like
it
It's
makes
a merchant jank.
Yeah, exactly. It is looking at the cards that you get and boiling it down to just like not even draft level or sealed level, but how do I try to make the cards in my hand work? How do I plan for the future? How do I exercise good fundamentals in playing this game to say this card might be worth paying the aspect tax on? This one I need to save because this is the closest thing to a late game bomb I have. Mm-hmm. Being able to say, okay, well, I know my leaders can do this. How do I enable everything else? There's no jank putting things together, but there is the recognizing interactions as they come up and kind of rolling with it, that like tactical way of playing the game that really is appealing. And playing it as like a Twin Suns variant with 3 or 4 people is ridiculous. It is so much fun.
I mean, something that you mentioned.
I'm sold on it as fun.
Yeah.
And I will pursue that. But I'm just wrapping my head.
Something that you mentioned that I want to follow up on is this idea, and we didn't really flesh this out, but this idea about restrictions breeding creativity, right? Is that when you are given a novel set of constraints, then you have to develop and find ways to work around that. And so part of jank is I have constraints on the card pool that I physically have access to because I'm not willing to pay $50 for Luke Skywalker, right? Mm-hmm. But some of it is also the restrictions around I don't like the play patterns of these like top tier decks. Is there something I can do that has play patterns that I like better? And I think that beyond just the within the Star Wars context, within the Star Wars Unlimited context, you see that. But if you look at, there's this huge platform of roguelike deck builders or roguelike games in general where the overall structure can be similar, but each individual round is different, and finding the ways to make what you get work, that can be, I mean, for a lot of people, for me at least, it's a really fascinating puzzle, and I think that comes up. And so Pack Wars, I think, is an expression of that, and Pack Wars is very random, and there's a huge amount of variance, and maybe you don't like that. But, some people like Limited. I really like Limited, and so like Limited has those kinds of muscles that you're stretching, where you don't get to pick, you have some control, but not total control, and you're rolling with the punches and seeing what you can do. And I tend to gravitate towards like these very scrappy, crappy, common, heavy, limited decks that try and get across the finish line. And, not all of the even at the like most sweaty of premier levels, the restrictions that you're encountering are not restrictions on the card pool, and they're not restrictions on like okay, we're playing some weird variant form of the game. The restrictions are, what does the meta look like? Can I, given the restrictions of my understanding of the meta, can I craft something that can gain an advantage relative to that? And that kind of like puzzle solving behavior, I think, is what draws a lot of people to TCGs. And it's something that, you know, is manifest at all levels, and different ways of playing are going to have different amounts of like variance and puzzle solving, and then also like kind of the chess brain trying to find the optimal line, and just like practice, and whatever format you play, however you play, it's finding the mixture of those elements that makes you happy.
Fee, one question before we get to our next segment.
Yes.
So I wanted you on the show in part because there's been this kind of community pushback against the lack of a ban list in Trilogy, right? So anything can be done in Trilogy. And as I shared last episode, I sat down in the Trilogy tournament against somebody running Han DJ, Django, and Boba, and I just scooped. I had a better way to spend 55 minutes or 50 minutes. And I feel like as a community, there's been a bit of a pushback of saying, yeah, we're just instituting the premier ban list at our Trilogy night. But I feel like I know Commander has now some sort of like vibes-based ranking of competitiveness of decks. And I think I wanted to have like some sort of like jank scaled so that we could talk about decks. And then I realized I don't like the idea of a jank scale because that makes it sound like janked is opt-in, right? That you're making your deck more janky. But I think, as you can see with like the way they're selling up Intro Battle Hoth, where you buy the box and then any card is a good card, which means you immediately start, any new card in a pack is a good card. Any common is an improvement. You're immediately cooking the moment you open your first pack, and you get that new player gets to learn how to cook. So I want sweatiness to be the like opt-in, right? That you have to like telegraph, like, I have chosen to be more sweaty. The default baseline is wild jank. And I feel like a scale of 1 to 5 is what the human brain can entertain and comprehend. And obviously, we're just going to call 5 like Django Boba, right? Like that's the sweatiest.
Yeah.
Trilogy centric. So if Django Boba is 5, then 1 is all jank, right?
Yeah.
And Ned, I mean, jump in as well, but I wanted Fee here as the jank tech expert. Like, what is the name for a tier 1? Like, what is the jankiest level of like full jank?
Oh, right? You mean when we're like Admiral Trench, Dr. Afra territory?
Yeah, exactly. Right, where your like deck is borderline unplayable. You have built your entire deck. Like, it is probably technically legal, right?
Yeah.
But you have built your deck entirely a Twin Suns deck where you have chosen 3 artists. And that is the level, that is the theme of the deck, is all the cards by these 3 artists regardless of aspect. And so you're just, like, yep, we'll see, like that, the one, like in my mind, 2 is when you are hitting like actually like has a decent chance of going off.
Okay, all right. So now I think I understand the scale a little bit more. So 1 is basically unplayable. 2.
1 is you are happy if there are cards that are near your curve. Right? Like in my mind, like 1 is like an artist deck.
Okay.
Right? Where you are just like.
But if we're talking like, I'd say, that Avar Chris red deck that I brought to Galactics, I think lies somewhere in the middle, probably like. A high in the 3s, not yet a 4. It's a good deck if it's optimized. It might not necessarily win. As you get below that on the jank scale, then you're going to be looking at those leaders like Finn, Hondo, and like I feel like Hondo got some play at one point during Shadows. Like there's like a blue Hondo deck that people were using.
I remember.
So we're calling 2 Findo. Because that's a natural portmanteau that just conveys.
Okay, so point of order. If I buy a Spotlight deck and I just show up, where do I go on the scale? Because I think that if we have the dynamic range set here, right, like a spotlight deck is going to be like sweatier than Findo, but that puts it at a 3, right? And that doesn't seem. So
Well, again, it quality is a separate axis.
Okay.
Like from jank, right?
Okay.
Like in my mind, like for you, it's how much did a thing other than winning
So you have
inform the
1 to
creation of the
5
deck?
of how much do I care about something other than winning, with 1 being, or I guess we would flip
most.
it. How much do I care about winning? Right, where 1 is I don't really care about winning this particular game at all, and 5 is that is the only thing that matters to me.
Yeah.
And then you have this other axis where you've got
Of quality, who cares?
Yeah.
And so a spotlight deck is, in fact, I would say a spotlight deck is essentially a 4 to 5. It's a 4+, because by virtue of the fact that you did 0 cooking.
Yeah.
Right. It is a frozen meal of. Regardless of whether it's a frozen meal or like a fine dining restaurant, you didn't cook it. Mm-hmm. Like you gave somebody money and they gave you a deck, and obviously net decking, blah blah blah. But like, how much thought and like creativity went into it versus you did and obviously the first person to cook a deck, right? Like there's an element of goodness and but this is about, again, towards the idea of community. The goal here is to be able to convey like. So, Fee told me the tier of the deck she was bringing tonight for Trilogy, and I immediately lamented. I was like, I think I am higher on our scale of 1 to 5 than that. I love Avar as 3 because she absolutely broke my heart because I really wanted her to be like a leader in 4. She is as close as we've gotten to a viable green lady, which has been a green hero lady, which I have been asking for since set 1, and we
Leia was viable. Leia was viable for a little while.
No, yes, by virtue of a limited card pool.
Yes.
She has not held up in the way a wide variety of other set 1 leaders have. She didn't even make it into set 2. You almost immediately realized anything you want to do with Leia, you could do with Sabine.
Yep.
Wah wah.
So, Avar was so close. I love Avar's in the middle too, because that just absolutely, it puts the High Republic right in the center. It says like Avar's a good leader. Green Hero has a lot of great cards. You're probably cooking something with all that force. Even if nothing else, you're just trying to cook getting Avar out 3 turns early.
So just to establish, we have 1 right now is your Afra Trench.
It's the artist deck.
The artist deck. Okay.
Everything is Itor Prieto.
Yeah. 2 is the Findo zone. 3 is the Christian,
Findo 88.
Crisscross. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've lost half our audience, Ned. So
they
yes,
don't want to be
but and
told
3 in my mind 3 is like that idea of like I feel like it's like off meta, right? Where it's like it was meta, but like especially in Trilogy, like I haven't let this deck go. This deck means something to me. It's weird. And I think it covers those Tarkin Yellow, where it's right like it was a viable. Tarkin Yellow is not like is actually very viable if you don't anticipate it. Blah blah. It's not like premier, like truly premier, top of the line. So
I mean, for a $20 deck, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a huge selling point is that you can get like
So just so I'm clear, where would you put the Rex Trilogy list that I run?
That sounds like a 2.5 right there.
2.5, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
It's 10-point secret 10-point scale, Ned.
All 5-point scales are secret 10-point scales.
All right, fine. A middle 2.
A middle 2.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, because again, it's not very good, and like it again. This is I'm specifically thinking Trilogy, right? I want to sell my package, but like Rex can go, like you said, 60% of the time it works all the time, but that's still 60% of the time, right? Like that it goes off. I mean, I think I'd put it at like a high 2 even. Like it's, as part of a trilogy, it can be part of like a complete. It's one of those things where it's like they always list like sugary cereals as part of a complete breakfast, along with like fruit. and yogurt and like some lean protein. Like I think Rex is part of a robust, viable trilogy, right? Like along with 2 other good decks.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable. Yeah.
So what do we call tier 4? Because I want to make a little infographic for when we talk in the future about jank. Obviously 5 is jank. So 4 is like that like premier viable deck. Is it just premier viable?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, like I think any of those decks
good.
you brought against me, like I would consider those that like Cad Bane Tarkin Town, that Kylo ECL.
I would say Kylo ECL is nearing. I mean, I guess 5 is stuff that is so good that it got banned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially I think when you have like
5 is not a lot of dynamic range, right? Like I think that we have to go back to the secret 10-point scale. But
5 is just like I'm literally right. Like if you're running a trilogy and you have one of those 3, then you can be down in like the 4.5 or the 4, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like I want to see somebody who brings Rex and Django. I mean that's Ned, right? Like, right? Like, where you're like, I just really love this deck, and the fact that it got banned is immaterial to me. And so.
And I just want to run triple dark raid in a trench deck, so that makes me, I don't know where that puts me.
Triple dark raid.
Are you pumped for trench in Secrets of Power? Are you pumped to just play plot cards all day, every day?
I hope it works. I hope that there can be some way of enabling it. Like I tried so hard with trench in GTL. I tried with them at the beginning of the set, and it just did not work. Next set could be a set. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, if it works, awesome.
Ned, my understanding is that force is what happens when something has a sufficient velocity to change its mass.
That's not how force works at all, Parker.
That's not how the force works.
Listener Andrew wrote in, had some questions about the upcoming sector qualifiers in Portland, which as of Sunday night, they still haven't put tickets out for sale yet for a sector qualifier that is in about less than 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So in theory, people are supposed to fly in. So if you're in the greater Pacific Northwest, come on down to the easiest sector qualifiers we will probably see in year 1. Couple questions, some about Star Wars Unlimited, some about Portland from Andrew, and it's good to have another Portland person on with strong opinions on the call. Best or favorite weird, wonky leader pairing for Twin Suns. Ned, I think we've already established yours.
You guys go. Yeah.
Okay. So I was dying to say this when he was talking about Grand Inquisitor. So I have a couple.
Okay.
It's Grand Inquisitor from the first set and Third Sister. So you make them hidden and then you ready them and then you make everyone else mad and get attacked at the table. As far as an actual like good combo, I think.
But that puts you in double red. How do you feel about double aspects in Twin Suns?
I love them. Oh my God. I did actually, like, I feel like this is way too much self-promotion, but I'm going to do it. I actually did.
We beg of you, please.
I did a double aspect week on my channel a while ago where I did 4 different Twin Suns decks and they all did double aspects. And I thought it was such a fun challenge for deck building. And we got some really neat stuff. Like I made an Akbar Chancellor Palpatine token heavy deck.
Heck yeah.
I made a Mace Windu Luke Pilot Lake Country ping everything deck. So there's some really fun stuff you can do with mono 2 colors.
Yeah.
Mono if you're really weird. But yeah. And the other combo.
What's your weird one?
Was it weird to say Finn and Poe? Or is that just accepted as good at this point?
Which Can you explain how that works to me?
Okay, it means you put Poe Pilot onto a ship. You attack with it. You use Finn's leader ability to defeat the Poe Pilot, bringing him back to the leader zone, replacing him with a shield. So because Poe can continuously go out onto things every single turn, you can put him on different stuff. You can defeat him on his deploy turn and then deploy him.
That's some juice. It's some awesome juice.
If it's good, that sounds fun. So I'm in. Going to start putting that together as my next Twin Sons deck.
I also did a video on that one. Check it out on my channel too.
I absolutely will. I will. I told Fee this, but I'm just going to say this publicly. I had not played Twin Sons at 80 before going to Galactics, and so I had to rethink all of my ratios. And Fee's beginner cooking Twin Sons video is what I used to figure out what my ratios were. I'm going to go with an obvious one, but it's because I love it so much. I don't know if it's good. It's not weird. I just really like Emperor Palp into Krennic because I like the Palp flip turn, but I can never get on board with self-damage in a solo Premier deck. And then, and also with 3 other people, you have so many delightful choices. There's 3 times the things to steal when on the flip turn. Here's a fun one. What characters are we hoping to see in Secrets of Power now that we know that it's politically themed? Knowing that there's a very good chance. So 2-part question. 1, what do you want to see? 2, there's a very good odds that tomorrow we will see one of them, but this episode will not come out till Tuesday. So who do you think, a prize to whichever the 3 of us guesses which leader we actually will see, regardless of whether we want to? What political spy leader are we going to see?
I want a Jar Jar leader so bad. And I think this is an ironic enjoyment because Jar Jar Binks killed my enjoyment and desire to do anything with the Star Wars franchise for like 20 years. And I think now I'm just like, I can't get enough of them in this game. Please, I know we're already getting the plot card, but if we can get a leader to go with that and stick a Jar Jar on a Jar Jar, I don't care if it's Sith Jar Jar, if it's stupid Gungan with his tongue lolling out Jar Jar, or if it's like respected Senator Jar Jar. Any of those, just please give me a Jar Jar.
Parker?
And who do you think? Who are you staking we'll see tomorrow? Our 3rd leader.
Man, I couldn't even begin to tell you. Like, my knowledge of Star Wars lore, as far as all the political stuff goes, like, I could be like, oh, I know these characters from the Timothy Zahn trilogy or the Kevin J. Anderson trilogy from when I was a kid, but any of the politicians, I'm like, is Mon Mothma a politician? It's like,
yeah.
I'm here for like the weird goopy aliens and the droids. Like, they spoiled a gonk droid in one of the art articles on the official website. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I want the droid that looks like a trash can. I want to fill my deck with those things.
Ned.
Obviously, putting Dexter Jetster to one side, I think that his time has not yet come. I could be wrong, but as far as what I would like to see, I would like to see a Lando or a Lobot that aren't terrible.
Except for Lando was,
You could play it. You could gesture in that direction. What I think we are going to see is Chancellor Valorum. I don't know.
As a leader.
As a
wow,
leader.
Yeah.
Okay. Chancellor Valorum.
I'm going to put my money on yet another Cassian.
Oh, yeah.
That's
like
safe.
starred in Cassian Andor, the spy show. I'm going to give 2 answers to my want, because my true want is Dedra Miro. I adore her. I think she's awesome. The actress is incredible. Like, her role in Andor is incredible, but also, and I don't want her to just be limited to the one card we've already seen. So I'd really, like to see her as a leader. But I would also just take deep cuts like Kaz's dad, Senator Hamato from Resistance. I want to see, like, there's other Star Wars material out there other than just like Andor and the main movies, and like let's go find, there's lots of good spy stuff elsewhere. So Senator Hamato is my other real wish. And then Andrew had a couple questions about Portland. So to wrap up, if you're coming to Portland, the best donut.
Parker, you want to go first on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with Blue Star. It's the obvious answer.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, but the blueberry bourbon basil, that 3B donut, it's the glaze just gets me every time.
They've done great things with olive oil with those donuts too, which I thought was so weird sounding at first, but oh my gosh. I think I would go with Blue Star too. Honorable mention to Mikiko Mochi donuts, because my wife is gluten-free, and so we have to have something that's good, and those things are awesome. They do all kinds of interesting flavors that I haven't seen at any other donut places.
They just opened up a stand near my work, and I can't get on board with the like non-ice cream mochi, but my entire family devours those things. Those donuts are wild and really good. That's a good call.
I'm going to do that same double answer. So my partner is vegan, so dough donuts is a popular spot for us. But I think Pip's Donuts and Chai has like very good classic donuts, and I recommend. It's a little bit out of the way, but if you're out in that zone, recommend.
I think we can all agree, don't go to Voodoo.
No.
Like
You
anybody
can
who tells you to
watch-
go to Voodoo in Portland is
Yeah.
like
No, it's there if you want cereal on a donut or donuts shaped like genitals. Like, I'd rather have a donut that tastes good.
Yeah.
yeah, agreed. Best coffee.
Man, a couple years ago, I would have said Kopi Coffee next to Screen Door. They sadly went out of business. This is a weird answer from someone, from a Portlander. I like the Turkish coffee at the Le Camel food cart, kind of the best in town, as opposed to like a real coffee place. But oh my God, I love Turkish coffee, and the cart makes it so good. But honestly, I'm that much of a snob about coffee that the coffee I drink most of the time is in my French press at home at 205 degrees with a specific grind, and so for a specific amount of time, because I'm one of those.
Preach. Yes. Good. Yes. Agreed. Same. My wife we just got a Mocha Master, and so that we just have like the perfect percolation on our drip coffee. All of my favorite places have gone out of business. I would have recommended Coffee People, and that's not there. I love Insomnia, but that's too much of a schlep that's a Beaverton, not Portland. So in Portland, I will say Public Domain does a very compelling roast. They treat their beans well. Ned.
I'm really boring. I like Stumptown. They're convenient. They're easy to get. No
Get them in
complaints.
grocery stores, Ned.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, Andrew, that is not the answer you were probably dreaming of. And last thing, anything, other things to see or do while you were in town for a Friday and Saturday and Sunday night to be in sector qualified?
I think personally, and your mileage may vary, but the OHSU gondola is a lot of fun.
It's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Whenever I have family come in from out of town or friends come in from out of town, I always I take them to the farmers market on Saturday morning. You're not going to be able to do that unless things go horribly awry for you. But the Portland Community College farmers market, and then you just walk from there to the gondola. You take the gondola up, and then you can take a trail down. It's a grand old time. Or if you don't feel like taking the trail down, you can just take the gondola back down and then ride the streetcar wherever you need to go.
I will say the obvious. I have not had an obvious answer yet. Powell's. If you've never been to Portland, we have the best bookstore. There are one or two better probably in the United States, but they are chains. The beauty of Powell's is if you still buy physical books, which I do, is you can go smell and touch the new hardcover and then buy the used paperback for like 1/10 of the price.
I just got a copy of The Martian there that I read this afternoon. So,
Yeah, Powell's is absolutely the one-stop shop of things. But I would also warn, Portland is not a late-night city.
Nope.
No.
So if you're coming here and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get done at 8 and then I'm going to go out and take on the town, most places have wrapped like Ned and I were at FLGS like 2 or 3 months back. The weather was nice. It was like Friday or Saturday night after a pre-release, and we were like, let's go grab a beer. And like we were like in a hip, dense part of town, and we were looked in like 8 blocks radius. There were no bars, and we just gave up and went home
Wild.
because they all closed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So, Fee,
Well,
what should someone do if they're visiting for the sectors?
I haven't gone there since I was in my 30s, but oh my gosh, B-Side was actually my trash bar of choice, like punk metal bar that was open super late. I think they're still around. So, that's the late night answer. But honestly, like, I'm going to go like kind of along with Ned in terms of sightseeing, not just the gondola, but I think going to St. John's. If it's a nice day, you go across the bridge, you see Mount Hood framed in there. You can go visit Final Form, which is a super cool, like, retro video game record store that's up there. It just feels very Portlandy. with the view, and then like just the cool kind of area that you're in.
Heck yeah.
St. John's is absolutely the like Hollywood adaptation of Portland.
Yes.
It is the Portland that other people, if you know, when people perceive Portland, that actually is St. John's.
Yeah.
It is that wonderful place. Well, Fee, thank you so much for coming on our show. An absolute blast to have you.
Heck yeah.
Metal Marshmallow on YouTube, link in comments, obviously. I'll let Ned go first. Ned, any final thoughts about the episode? Anything that we brought up and you didn't get to circle back around to?
I'd say for my final thought, it was great having a guest on. I love talking to you, Parker, but Fee, I think you contributed a lot, and please feel free to come on again.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
friend of the show.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awesome being on here. I'd love to talk to y'all again about Star Wars.
Heck yeah.
Do you have a final thought?
Any final thoughts? I mean, I think we all basically said everything I was thinking of. I just, I love knowing that there is, that I'm not the only one that's thinking about these sorts of weird brews and how they exist within the context of this game. And I think it's important to have these kind of conversations because I think this kind of stuff keeps these games vibrant and interesting and alive. And so, yeah, let's keep talking about, there's other formats too, y'all. Like, it's not just Premiere. There's also all kinds of other cool stuff that we can enjoy in this game.
Absolutely. All right, dear listener, that is all she wrote. We will see you in a few weeks.
Adios.